g'day. As we approach round 6 of the NRL Telstra Premiership, the punt has beaten us severely over and over, time and time again. But we go again. That is the beauty of this club. Welcome to the boys, Becca, Matt, Scotty. How are we?
Hello.
Good, mate.
Well,
Good. How you going?
A bit of housekeeping. I believe we now live on Spotify as well. So if you're wanting to catch up on the show via audio, maybe you can't watch everything at some stage, or you just want to get someone onto the show because you're like, hey, this is the least shit thing I've watched on the internet today. Becca, who is the handsome critter with the pokies behind him in the top right, which we'll get into soon. Do people just search this bullshit? Cook Punts FC?
Yeah, just Cooked Punts FC. It'll come up on your Spotify. We'll link it up. We'll put it on our social media as well, make it easier.
Yeah, we will. And we'll penetrate your ear holes, hopefully. So you can have a look at Spotify and check that out. Everyone is good. Everyone's feeling well. Everyone's positive. Arnie's happy. Yes.
Yes, we are.
Arnie's okay. No wins as a team over the weekend. Selfishly, I did have a little one on a Luciano Leilua Gutherson's try scorer, which was a couple of hundy. Paid some bills. We could afford groceries for the week. But the beauty of the punt is that we can always return. Now, we've had a few messages over the last few days from people saying, you guys, you need to do more fucking underwater darts. You need to do more AFL, for example.
Okay.
The main reason we bet on NRL is because it's the main sport we watch, and we normally lose. So if you're asking us to bet on sports that we don't watch when we already lose on sports that we feel like we know at least a tiny bit about, then you're going to lose more money than you already are.
Sign me up.
We can't lose any more money than we already are losing.
I mean,
yours, man. Hey, is there anybody here that hasn't had a win yet?
I had a preseason win, so I don't know if that counts.
It doesn't, man.
I don't know if that counts.
All right, cool.
Carry on.
Becky, you don't win because you bet like a fuckhead. Your loss, which we'll get into in a second, are 400 to 1 odds, and then you complain about why they don't come through.
I've come very fucking close.
It's a Hail Mary, isn't it, Becca? It's any given Sunday Hail Mary.
Why are the slaps behind you? What's happening?
Every group
I'm
needs
actually
one.
at work.
I thought you brought them into your home.
These have no, not yet, but eventually. It's my own personal gaming room.
That's dangerous. That's very dangerous.
No, they're not real. I should say that they're not actual. They are real, but they're not linked up the way they are in the pubs or clubs or casinos. So the money that you might be able to see, I don't think you can see that closely. But some of the money, it's not real money.
What? Okay.
I just
money,
a little
Curiosity
bit
killed the cat.
I mean, your background is outdoing my background this week, and that for me. Look at that shit.
Look, it's a bit of an upgrade from the vending machine and pop lamp. I'll definitely give them that.
It's only up from here, eh?
Where's your family photo? Didn't you have that full of white people last week?
Oh, yeah, the Whiteys are back this week, unfortunately. So they'll be,
all right, let's punt, my friends. As always, every single bet slip that we throw up tonight will be up on our social media. All you have to do is find Cook Punts FC on Facebook or on Instagram. If you're listening to this via Spotify and you haven't found us on social media yet, what a time to be alive. You can check it out there. We will lead with our locks of the week. Dobbo, I should say, is coming on in about 5-10 minutes. So we better power through these. My lock of the week, let me change some things so we can see everybody. So can I just say before I tell you as to why you should bet on this? All right, just fucking calm down for 1 second. Before we go through it, the odds now, and I know it's only 8 to 1, the odds now on this are 15 to 1 because I put this on Monday before the Sharks said, fuck you to John Morris. And now they think the Sharks are blown out to $1.90. One of the AFL teams. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think maybe even Knights are gone favourites, which I don't understand because they stink. But let me talk you through. If you want to jump on this, about 15 to 1 with the boost on the sports bet. Panthers, I just went the head-to-head. Those are great odds, $1.03.
Lucky that's
Cronulla. I went Cronulla. I thought Cronulla,
the odds might be $8.
Boost it up. Come on.
Hey, you guys haven't had a win yet. Baker
I have.
himself, so.
Get that first leg in the bank, eh?
Yeah.
So, Cronulla Sharks to beat Newcastle. It's in Newcastle. And I did find out afterwards that Wade Graham was out. I still don't think Newcastle will win. I love Kalen Ponga, and he single-handedly tries to save that side. There's some good forwards, but I still like the Sharks to win that game. Are you going to go, Matt? You're a newie.
Yeah, I'm thinking we'll probably go, actually. It's Friday night. You've got the white guys here, so I'll probably take him out for a good time.
Good. Melbourne Storm against the Roosters. I feel like that's potentially a danger game, but you would hope the Storm would get that one done. It's at home as well, and you know, Pappenhausen.
So for Solomona is going to run at the little kid Walker all night. Poor bloke.
He's a
Queenslander, man. I discovered.
Is he?
He's Ben Walker's kid. He's Ben Walker's kid.
Walker's on. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they were lucky to get out last week, though. They were very lucky
Exactly.
to get away with that win. Very lucky.
Hey, we got asked to do more AFL, so here you have it, you fucks. West Coast in Perth apparently don't lose there much. I believe Collingwood, I saw a meme on the internet today that said some of their players aren't happy, so I'm going to run with that as a fact. $1.39 is better than the Panthers' $1.03. Western Bulldogs look like they're a certainty to beat the Gold Coast Suns, so $1.19 looks good to me. By the way, AFL won me money last week. I had to watch Carlton play Gold Coast on Saturday night, and that was the worst sporting event I've ever watched in my life.
That's dirty cash. Did you feel bad?
That's dirty.
You felt bad about it, didn't you?
Money's money. Port Adelaide to beat Carlton, the team that I bet on and won with last week. So hopefully, it gets returned in Melbourne. I'm basing this on the fact that Port Adelaide made a prelim last year and Carlton didn't. And
would you Google some shit?
Yeah. St. George to beat the Warriors. I think the Warriors might be broken after a good start to the year, and St. George the surprise packet of the NRL.
Oh, man, such a likeable squad. Like, I freaking hate St. George, but I like their current team at the moment,
15-1. 15, and Josh Maguire's signed with them, which I think Dobbo will tell us more about in a second. 15-1 if you jump on that now. Let's go to Becca's lock, which is slightly different odds. I actually don't know this one,
ladies and gentlemen, is fuck wingers. They will break your heart. So as you can see, there are no wingers in my lock this week. We have Nathan Clinic at the top. When the Panthers pump a team, Clinic scores a try. He'll start doing some stupid chip kicks to himself that you'd see him doing in his backyard. And probably around the 60-minute mark, and one of them will come off and he will score. Kalen Ponga, as you said before, will single-handedly try and win the game for the Knights, probably by scoring a try. Dave Fafita scored 3 last week. 2, 3. Bagged Hattie? 3. Yeah. He's going to get another one.
With the trick
Latrell Mitchell, I think the Rabbitohs don't get hassled too much by the Tigers, and Latrell probably scores. Jack Whiten, I put him in there as my anchor because I think he's a trustworthy man. I'm a big fan of him. I enjoy watching him play.
Good burn.
Me and Steve-O. That's fucking funny.
Fucking Steve-O'd us last week. He was the anchor. We didn't even touch on that yet. Steve-O did what he does best and not anchor our melody.
If you're on Facebook or YouTube, if you leave a comment, we can bring it up through the show here. So just say good day if you got your lock of the week or your sure thing, or you just like to abuse somebody or make fun of Becca's backdrop. Just say good day like Mark has on there. I know that's a 91-1 lock. I quite like it, and I have jumped on. I think I went the whole thing. Sometimes I will be an asshole and cut out things of your multis I don't like.
The first time you've ever said you liked one of my
especially
bets. I think this is the first time this has ever happened, and I don't know if the viewers know that when we submit them, we put them in a group chat with the 4 of us.
Yeah.
And I saw Elliot replied to a picture and said, "I like it." I just assumed he replied to Matt's and not mine, and then when I looked a bit closer, he'd actually replied to mine. I
thought it was actually mine that he liked.
Yeah.
I didn't mind yours, but for Becca, this is actually pretty good. Let's go Scotty's lock at 16-1.
Yeah, look, I need a win, guys. So, look, I think all of my bets this week total Becca's lock, I think maybe. But, we've gone Panthers 13. That should be an easy one to walk in. I was very impressed with Jerome Luai's efforts last week, so I'm sure he'll put a grubber through again and score another 1,000 tries. The Brumbies definitely to beat the Rebels. Rebels played terrible last week, and the Brumbies really should have won, even though the Reds got up. They were very lucky with that late penalty. And then I can't believe it, but I'm actually going to bet on the Cowboys to win the fucking game. And yeah, Kyle Felt to lock it. So I'll probably be burnt by a winger again, but worth having a crack.
For Felt, that'll be. I think he hasn't scored yet.
He'll probably spear tackle someone again in the 3rd minute and get sent off, but we'll give it a punt. What do you reckon?
The bet will be void.
Mate, getting scratched. Yeah, definitely.
Matt's lock 23-1 odds with all boost.
Yeah, contemplated say Penrith Panthers. I reckon they'll obviously touch up Brisbane despite they're at home. They're quite embarrassing this season. If you ever went for them, not that I ever did. Steve Crichton, yeah, sure, he'll Becker, no comments.
Where's Crichton playing? Because you bet on him last week, not knowing he was playing fullback, and he's either I don't know what is he?
And Burton
is he fullback again?
Yeah, named it fullback, and Burton named it in the centres in his place.
Freaking hell! All right, well that was a good move by me then.
Well researched, yeah.
Yeah, thanks for
wingers will break your heart, man. You're all right with the fullback.
What are your thoughts on Righto? So South Sydney 13+ against the West Tigers. Surely, come on, Alex Johnson will cross for sure. Blake Ferguson, man, we're talking about it because obviously Sivo burnt me twice, and I think I've learned my lesson. And it seems like Blake Ferguson really gets a lot better ball on his side of the field. Sivo he's just rough, and Blake Ferguson, man, how many times last game did he just get
expecting the ball to go to Sivo? That's the problem. We bet on players we think are going to score.
We're just going to stop betting on Sivo because we're ruining his career. Every time we do it, he has a stinker.
Like I wouldn't message him, but I wanted to message him. You know,
don't be that person.
I love you, man.
I wouldn't do it.
You should threaten him.
Yeah, maybe I'll
go down well.
Yeah, luckily, James. Zach Lomax again, like the team. I think he's due to Chris Cross. You know, get in there, son.
Those are the locks. We'll have our roughies a little bit later. We're going to take a 30, and then Dobbo's coming back with us. Let's catch up with the only. Are you okay? We'll catch up with the only reputable voice in the NRL. A man that potentially, I mean, who knows? He could be the boss of the NRL one day, the CEO. He's already the king of Brisbane. It would just be another title to his name. Part of the Triple M fabric, Rush Hour Queenslander, of course, calls a lot of games for Triple M as well. Channel 9 to our mate Dobbo.
Hello, boys.
How are you, mate?
How are you?
Becca, you white ant. Yeah, I'm very good, boys. I'm very good. I'm pleased. I finally told everybody the Cowboys were going to win, and was I right? 100%.
You didn't tell us. I thought you didn't tell us.
I thought you said South Sydney 1-12. Who?
Yeah, you said Souths 1-12 on this show. We had people load up on Souths 1-12 on this show, and then he comes to me Monday. He goes, "I fucking told you the Cowboys would win." At what point of last week did we have this conversation?
Can I please just say this, and I'll say this now, that the Panthers are specials tomorrow. I'll just give you that now. The Panthers are
thank you.
Panthers 1-12, I reckon. What do you reckon?
Hey, Dob, a bit of rugby league news from the last little while. What happened with the whole Josh Maguire saga? What are you eating, by the way? A bit of yogurt?
How are you
Sorry,
eating
boys,
it?
I'm having some ice cream while I'm here.
Hey, no judgment.
Maguire's gone from George. Maguire's gone from George, and the Cowboys are happy about it. There's no two ways about it. It's funny. It's funny when you talk to people. He's a really polarizing figure, Josh Maguire. A great footballer, but he's very much of the old school, and not everybody's going to get along with him. I think the Cowboys are happy that he's gone, and Josh is happy that he's gone to St. George. He knows Anthony Griffin. Anthony Griffin gave him his start in the under-20s. And you know what? He pulls a bit of a hard edge to that side that's going really well. They've got a really good side. Their bench is probably where they need a bit of work. And Maguire comes off the bench and just gives them that extra mongrel that they need. But mate, St. George are the surprise packets. I think we all agree with that. They're a better side than everybody. I mean, the mess that poor old Kevin Walters has inherited at Brisbane and that what Todd Payton's inherited up in North Queensland, it's somebody's got to be held accountable. Unfortunately, no one's putting their hand up at the moment. These guys are in for proper rebuilds, which is really sad because it was only 6 years ago they were playing in a grand final together.
Is Milford dead at the Bronx? Will he play for him again?
Not the next month. Kevy said to me he's going to do a month in Intrust Super Cup. And, you know, you'd hope that he gets back. But, I mean, he's on $1 million a year. What do you keep Anthony Milford at? What, $250? Is that a fair price? Everybody says, well, he'll kill it overseas. But, I mean, I think they've got to move on. I think they've got to move on from him. The talk is that they play Stag at 6 next year. And if that's the case, you know, you've got to find centres. They need a number one more than anything. They need a Latrell Mitchell, a Clint Gutherson. The talk at the club today was that they think Herbie Farnworth can do it. And the big mail I was getting today is that Xavier Coates, they're not confident they're going to keep Xavier Coates. They're confident about everybody else, but they think they could lose Coates and potentially to Melbourne, which is a real worry.
Can you imagine, with all respect to the Broncos system, can you imagine how good he's going to get at the Storm if he ends up playing there?
Oh.
Well, you lose Coates to the Storm potentially. You lost their number one who they were grooming in Reece Walsh. Like, I mean, you know, it gets to the point where managers will not send their players to the Broncos because they know that it's a graveyard. So then you're going to have to pay overs to get someone there that's at the back end of their career who might perform, who might not, who's only going on reputation. And you're not, unless you're going to keep these young blokes, you cactus. So they're in a
new
real
Gold Coast.
Yeah.
Very true. You get that vibe,
Yep.
Well, I mean, you're tipping for us so far. I believe you've delivered once in 6 weeks of doing this, and that was when you gave us Rabbitohs 13+ against the Broncos. Are you confident with a lock heading into this weekend? Anything that we should waste, wedding down payments on before Scott can afford to feed his child again? Or
well, let's get a couple of things straight, Elliot. You've been engaged for 2 years, mate. You've made no effort to get married, so you won't get married.
No, we just owned it. The COVID, mate. The COVID.
Mate,
she's outside.
Mate, go down to a registry and get married if you want to marry her, mate. Don't use COVID. Don't hide behind a global.
Her mum would castrate me.
Do not hide behind a global pandemic why you won't marry your missus, mate, because it's bullshit. All right. My lock is I dead set think, and I mean this, I think St. George win again. I think St. George are going to surprise everybody. And I also think the Eels will beat the Raiders. I'm sorry, Raiders fans. I think the Eels bounce back and beat the Raiders. They're my two specials for the week.
In Canberra.
Penrith should do a job on Brisbane. That's a big lock.
Yeah, we'll leave that one. But if we were to roll Eels into Dragons without any sort of boost on any of your apps, it's a return 3-1. So maybe that's a little Sunday special.
Yeah, well, I'm just throwing it out there. Eels and St. George, get on board.
All right, so that means Canberra's going to win and the Warriors are going to upset the Dragons. I look forward to that.
What's that paying this week, Elliot? Can you chuck that into your sports better?
Hey, Dobbo, before we let you go, this has come through from Ray. 2022, he's a big Broncos man. 6 Stags, 7 Adam Reynolds possibility.
Yeah, but I don't think it will happen. I think that they'll wait too long to get Reynolds. They'll only get Adam Reynolds if they get Wayne back to oversee it all, which is potentially a chance. But Wayne would have to come back over the top of Kevy as a coaching director. and he'd bring Reynolds with him. My mail is they've locked in Sewer. They've got Sewer coming there next year, and they're confident they're getting Capewell. They think they'll keep Staggs. They've got Pakura. They'll lose, but there's about 10 players they're going to have to rid off this 30-man roster. So, and there's going to be some bloodletting, but they're confident they can get Sewer, which would be a good edge forward to go there with Ricky, and you have Capewell who can play in the centres and also play on the edge as well. So, you're getting some experience, but they still can't get a fullback. I mean, do you go out and buy a Gagai who's coming off and play him there? I don't know. He's rocks and diamonds. I don't know. It very much looks like a South Sydney side, but the sad thing is if they do get Sewer, they had Sewer for $250,000 3 years ago, and they hunted him, and he's double the value now, and that's the thing that burns you,
Just finally, Jazrin says if you need a fullback, bring Darius back. So potentially it's a phone call that could be made over the next few weeks. Dobbo, we always appreciate your time, mate. I know that you do a million things during the day, so thank you for coming on this podcast. Hey, we're now on Spotify, by the way. I don't know if you're tech savvy enough to work out the Spotify, but maybe you want to subscribe. Cook Punts FC on your drive to work tomorrow.
No.
Well, we try. Thanks, mate.
See ya.
See you, Dobbo. Cheers, mate.
It's a burn.
Oh, dear. Hey, let's take 30. We'll come back with some horsies after this. A bit of news on the horse front. By the way, none of us know anything about it, so don't really come here for your horse tips. But we do have a gentleman that comes on this program that had a certain name. I got an email from the Facebook that essentially said, please stop using this certain name because it's offensive, even though we were using it as the sexual meaning, not the offensive meaning. I can understand why that word may have been offensive to some people, so we apologize if maybe it was and someone reported that. But that person is now a man without name. He's actually out tonight. It doesn't mean that he's dead and won't be coming back to the show, but he did text me through his horse of the week. He did fuck us awfully last weekend, though, with 2 times horses. I don't think either one of them placed. One of them came third, but there's no third dividend.
One scratch.
So that's right, one scratch. Yeah, so that was a really good one. But the man without name this week, you like your long odds, Daniel Becker. Randwick, race 9, All Saints Eve. I think he likes this Jay O'Shea trainer. I don't know anything about horses. Potentially that's someone good in the horse world. 26 to 1 to win.
Queen of the Turf, Melton Shandong.
Good. 550 to 1 to place. We'll put that on Facebook. I would suggest not betting on it, but we will because we have this sick belief that if we chase our wins long enough, which is the opposite of what the sports bet app tells you to do, if we chase our wins long enough, eventually one of these things will come off.
Our losses are forever, so we will keep on chasing them.
I think that needs to be the new slogan for the show. I quite enjoy that.
Hashtag
We'll get into our fully cooked roughies in a sec. Real quick, the Penrith Panthers we spoke about a little bit before. And by the way, none of us are experts on this show. So if you're listening on Spotify for the first time or if you're on YouTube or Facebook, whatever, you think, oh, man, like 4 reputable guys in the rugby league. Well, no, none of us. We just like footy. We talk about the Penrith Panthers a lot. They are perhaps the most dominant NRL team I've seen in a long time without winning that grand final last year. A lot of people after the weekend calling them arrogant. They pulled Joe Tarpany into a huddle after they scored. I think there was a fine that went with that to Stephen Crichton. There was a bit of a melee. A lot of middle-aged, older, white journalists are coming out and getting really upset about it, which probably says more about the way that they were brought up than anything else. But consensus, I know you feel strongly about this, Becca.
I like it. I like, even if you want to call it arrogant, I think they're on fire right now. and it sends a message out to the rest of the comp, come and get us. The way the crowd was carrying on, the way they were mimicking the Raiders Vikings.
Oh, I love that.
Oh, I
loved
it.
Shit.
Oh,
That got me
I
hard.
love
I
that.
loved it, eh?
The funny thing is that the Raiders fans stole it from Iceland, so shut the fuck up. Like,
It was in the Euros, wasn't it?
Yeah, when they won, I think.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
There's only, like 300,000 Icelandic people, and they're all standing
I
there.
don't know.
I love it. I think it sends a message. It says, come and get us. Come and try and beat us. And it's quite a fortress, as we saw last week. I think it's awesome. It's good for the game.
What are you searching on Google?
Iceland population. I didn't know you guys.
It's 300,000.
I like it.
Who cares?
I think it's a confidence thing. They're young, mate. I love that Penrith side. I mean, I'm a Newcastle fan until I die, probably at 50 because of my diet. But I really enjoy watching that Penrith side. I love To'o. I love
the
Luai.
Panthers becoming the new Storm because the Storm have always copped a bash in the media for wrestle, the way Cam Smith acts and stuff. The media are just finding a new tall poppy to hit, and it's.
I feel like the Storm is still the Storm, and Penrith are just. They didn't even win last year, but people are carrying on like they did.
It was the first time I didn't hear the gentleman on NRL 360 rag on the Storm because they were too busy ragging on Penrith.
Are they meeting the Raiders again this season at all?
No.
Okay. And I was going to say that would be a great game to watch again because they breed a little bit of
So hopefully they meet in the finals. And I just looked up how much a grand final quinella, so both teams to go to the grand final, is paying $14 for Penrith and the Raiders.
Raiders won't make the granny. Raiders have no chance.
I thought the Raiders played all right, to be honest. I thought the scorecard was a little bit harsh on them. I thought they were really in it until about the 60th minute.
Penrith.
Lucky it's an 80-minute game. Yeah, freak.
That's a lot.
Cowboys, Broncos.
Penrith in the grand final last year.
Hey, let's get some fully cooked roughies and get the fuck out of here so the people can go and do what they want. Thank you again, by the way. A reminder, Becca is fairly tech savvy, especially compared to the rest of us. This show is now living on Spotify. If you search Cooked Punts FC, maybe you're driving, you hate the radio. I totally understand that. Listen to the Spotify and check out this podcast. And if you can give it a thumbs up or a rating or whatever the fuck you do, that'd be great. Fully cooked. Realize again this is tight in the world of a cooked roughie, but a reminder it's still paying 37 to 1 almost. So $10 on, $3.70 return. I don't want to tell you how much to bet. Put 100 on it. Jerome Luai, I think, Scott, you had this argument before, I believe will show and go maybe 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 times against the Broncos. I would hope he scores, which is why I put him in there. Kalen Ponga, I hope doesn't pass the ball at all this weekend because he has just no one to fucking help him in that Newcastle team. So please just run. KP, run. I think he'll get one against the Sharks. He's always paying good money to score, Ponga. I never understand it because he seems to score a lot, and their whole offense runs through Kalen Ponga. I would have thought he'd be their favourite to score.
Ooh. Who is Heim or Hunt?
I think it's Hunt, and they've got a young fella from Cessnock debuting called Braden Musgrove. He's got a mustache, so you should cheer for him.
Than Ponga, isn't he?
Bradman Best is back. He's at $2.50. So
he's in mine.
He was tempting. Josh Addo-Carr, I know in the past when we've bet on him, it hasn't necessarily gone well. And I did realise after this, I thought he was up against Tupou. He will be straight up against Brett Morris. So up to you. Wise at $1.86.
Did you say 100?
And Cody Walker, $2.30. I think it's great money against the Tigers. He's another one to
come back and make up for missing his suspension. I think.
That lethal left edge of Souths is better than most porn I've watched. It's unbelievable. So I assume at some stage he's going to score. Becca's fully cooked is at slightly larger odds. Make sure, by the way,
because Daniel Ricciardo doing in there.
Because this is going to Spotify, make sure you go through everything.
This motherfucker got Daniel Ricciardo in it.
He's copying my Brumbies line too, the dog.
Right. I'm going to send you $5. You just add it to your total.
You can wait till it's your
turn. I don't want to type that in, man. This is going to take like 20 minutes to type that in.
Can't do this on my lunch break. Go, Becca.
Scotty. Matt Burton, I think he'll score. He scored quite easily last week. Got a point to prove he's leaving to the Bulldogs. Charlie Staines on that Suncorp Stadium fast wicket, he will score because he is lightning fast. Panthers, I think, with a 16-point handicap is easy money. They'll probably do it with double that. I think they'll beat them by more than 30. And Bradman Best, as we talked about before, coming back from injury, he'll score. I recently watched Drive to Survive, which means I'm now a Formula One expert. Daniel Ricciardo with the points finish. So if you don't know what that means he'll get in the top 10. There's 20 cars. He'll finish.
Oh, what a fucking boring sport. Who gives a shit?
Excellent. You should
when's it on?
Watch the doco, and that'll get you hard. And
on Sunday night.
Yeah.
On Sunday
Netflix.
night.
Netflix.
Oh, the race.
What's it called?
Netflix.
Drive to Survive. It's excellent.
I know what the fuck
It's on Netflix.
I've never watched it before.
Yeah, this thing called Netflix.
I've never watched F1 before, and since watching this, I've gone back and watched previous races in the past, and I'm pretty into it. I know nothing about it. But Daniel Ricciardo is a good bloke. There's so much more to it than that. AJ Brimson, anytime. I had him last week in a multi. He didn't score. He actually was one of the only, I think he was the only leg in one of my multis that didn't get up. I think he'll score against Manly. Manly's still a question mark over them.
Sorry to pause you real quick. I forgot about this. AJ Brimson, I had a multi on one of the betting platforms that I probably shouldn't name last week, and he was the last leg of the same game, and he didn't score, and they still paid me out. They had him ticked off as that he played, and then I took out the money very quickly, and then they sent me they put my account into negatives, what I took out. So I sent them a message, and they put it straight back to positives. I don't know how often this happens to people, but it was the stuff of gambling dreams.
The same game he didn't get up for me. I was incredibly jealous of you.
Yeah, brilliant. Anyway,
sorry. Can you name the company, please?
It rhymes with bed.
AJ Brimson, Alex Johnson scores tries all the fucking time, and South Sydney are going to score a lot of fucking tries this weekend, so probably gets one. Cody Walker, 2 or more. As we were saying before, coming back from suspension, he's got to make up for it to the boys for being a dickhead and stomping on someone. The Brumbies, negative 7.5. As Scott wants to claim it's his bet. It was the fucking line bet that Sportsbet provided, but that's Scott's leg apparently. And Murray Tuilagi,
you put 80 fucking lines.
Cowboys, shut the fuck up. It's not your turn yet. Murray Tuilagi of the Cowboys. He scored 2 last week. He will score again this week against the Dogs, and I am going to make some money.
You're the dog.
Next.
You're going to make some money. Out of interest, that's paying 1,770 to 1. How much did you put on it?
Oh, he said we wouldn't discuss that.
I know. Was it $1?
It's more than $1.
Is it less? Is it less than
more
5,
than coins?
More than 3?
It's more than coins. 5 or over, I'll give you that.
You're a fucker. All right. From 1,770.
I won't be buying you any presents next week, Elliot.
1. Scotty, what do you got?
Yeah, fuck me. Oh, nothing like that one, I'll tell you what. I just picked what I thought was going to be a few outsider games of the week, which I'm fairly confident, but being both outsiders, I thought it'd be touch and go. Cronulla Sharks to beat the Knights. I put it on them when they were $1.90, so that was after the news of John Morris. I think it could go either way, really. You know, they're either going to rally behind him getting sacked and have a good game, or they're going to completely shit the bed. So who knows with that one? That's why I put him in the roughie. And Will Kennedy is having an amazing season. I think he's going to finish the year in a really high position.
Are you betting on Will Kennedy because you've done it maybe 2 or 3 weeks in a row now because your hairline and Will Kennedy's hairline are going the same way, and he's a young athletic man and so are you, so it makes you feel better about yourself? Or
look, that could be exactly what it is. It may not be what it is. I might just think he's a very I don't know how to feel about that one actually, but I'll take it as a compliment. I thought he had a great game last week. And
Josh Hannay. Josh Hannay is the caretaker coach for the Sharks.
The old Cowboy Centre.
Yeah, is he?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure he is. He was caretaking the Cows last week, wasn't he? Always a bridesmaid, never the bride. Poor Josh Hannay. All right.
Exactly. Seagulls with Tommy Turbo coming back. He's the type of player I think that could spur a team that is playing well under their capabilities to actually have a decent game. They also, true. But anyway, if they do have a good game, he's going to score and he's going to put Garrick in one of the corners. And then to round it out, you got to have something that you think can actually win in a roughie. So I chucked in Johnson and the Rabbitohs to put the lock out. If somehow the Sharks and the Sea Eagles get up, I'll be pretty confident coming into the back end of that.
All right. As always, we'll have all these on Facebook and Instagram before it is time. What? Is that a doorbell? Was that one of the pokies going off?
No. Maybe.
Okay.
Jackpot.
183 to 1, considering you are a gigantic tight ass, Matt. I was actually relatively impressed with this. What do you got?
Yeah, my hole is quite tight when it comes to like roughies and that. So I think Xavier Coates crossing in this game is, look, it's a bit rough, but it's a bit nice. If Broncos are going to cross, it's probably going to be through him. Bradman Best coming back off injury, my man. I've got a hard on for him as well. Young dude, what is he? He's got a young cock, man. He's ready for it.
Young cock,
Justin,
thick neck.
Thick neck is. Where's the next?
Imagine if this is someone's first listen, by the way. Like someone downloads
Can we mention one on Spotify now?
To a Spotify podcast for the first time.
The bloody gutter down here. Get out of the gutter.
This is going to make radio popular.
This is the winner's circle, Becca. Not you know anything about it, mate. All right. So Justin Olam, surely he'll be crossing.
Winner's side. There we go.
Oh, right here. Sorry, man.
Yeah.
Monday, Becca. You'll get there, man. Dane Gay guy. Does he score much? This is a bit of a stab in the dark.
Instead of Origin.
Yeah, I figured he was probably overdue, right? Or does he just not score during regular season?
Round 2, I think.
Damn it.
Fuck, you're getting good at the stats.
Stat man up the top right there.
I couldn't tell you.
And purely, much like Scotty, to close out the roughie, you might want a couple of Shories to come through. Such a likeable team by Max Duffy. Let's go.
Hey, since when have we ever said, I really like the Dragons, but I feel like, and I don't want to speak for everyone here, but I feel like they've become this wildly likable team now.
How did that happen?
I had them with the spoon, and look at, it's probably going to be the Cows or the Dogs at this rate.
Broncos haven't had have Broncos had a win?
Yeah, Broncos.
Yeah. Who did they beat?
The Broncos playing the Cowboys.
The Bulldogs,
that's going to
round
be a
1.
Trash game.
Yeah.
I will not watch. Yeah.
I'm going to go. I reckon I'll go round 20, I think it is.
Keep your receipt, get refunded, man. It will suck.
I think I want to do the Newey Brisbane game in August, just so I at least know that if I go to Newcastle, which is 2 flights from where I am, at least it's a definite win. But knowing my luck, what will happen? What?
In June, direct flights from Cairns to Newcastle with Jetstar, $140.
My game has been changed. What will happen, though, we'll book it, we'll be all excited, Pierce will be back from his peak, they'll be at full strength, we won't know it, and the team will run out in the field, and they'll be wearing this, and we'll know that we're fucked. The world's worst jersey.
Eddie Lee, my bar.
Matt and Scott need to up their man cave. Yeah, I mean, Becca's dedicated to the gamble. I'm dedicated to collecting.
Office,
I've got the one thing that matters, mate. That photo in the corner.
Can you show us what that is?
To me?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is a signed, an autographed framed photo of Arnold when he was running for the governor of California that I got when I think I would have been about 7. My auntie brought it back to America with it, and I've had it ever since. So this is usually what sits on the front of the door when you come into the house, but this hasn't.
It says to Scotty on there for those who can't read.
Exactly.
That's brilliant.
It's the one piece of memorability you need.
All right, boys, I have enough here. Again, this will be on Spotify. Any questions about that, just find us on Facebook or Instagram, but I'm sure Beck has set it up in a way that will work, at least for a week. Cook Punts FC. You can find us there, we think. Instagram, Facebook, all the bet slips will be out there before the game. Happy punting. Send, oh, wow.
Oh, I just read that
shit. End of season present for Becca, I reckon.
Yeah. We will get all the slips up. By the way, if you have any bet slips, be they as bad as Becca's, as tight as mine, we'd love to see them and jump on board. Let's all lose some money together. Have a terrific weekend, boys. It's always a pleasure. Thanks for jumping on, and we'll speak again soon. Goodbye.